The Mazda Demio. I'm not sure if this car has a different name anywhere else. But, out here to the Nürburgring it goes. It's, I do believe, one of the first few cars you actually get in-game. I'm assuming it's called something entirely different in the States, and I just have no idea. Didn't know it existed. It will be sub 10, really. That's a bold call because its front-wheel drive ass doesn't really like to turn, unfortunately. Now, it is turbocharged, which helps out slightly. And in terms of the turbo actually doing something, it might be the first car that we've tested that that actually does. But actually turning properly is going to be a bit of a challenge of this thing. Please tell me it's got another gear. Okay. There we go. 90 miles an hour. Outstanding. Why brake? Why would I brake there? Realistically, I have so many laps around the Nürburgring, I should just turn the brake meter off. Because it's not like I usually pay attention to it anyway. But it's really funny to see its suggestions. So when we get... Oh boy. When we get to the top of the hill, here in about, hopefully less than a minute's time, and we get to the split, gonna be interested to see what it is. If it's sub 230... I think it's going to have a chance. We'll also take a look at its top speed down the hill here. 100 miles an hour. Okay. 115. We have learned what spood is, guys. I think we're looking in pretty good shape here. 226.5, I want to say that is the fastest time that we've reached that split. So, if we don't screw up, we should be looking at our second sub 10 minute time. If you don't count the shifter cart, which we don't. Yeah, your prediction might be pretty good. Early on, I was not thinking that this car would be sub 10. And some of these tighter corners, it's still not a big fan of. Could be terrifying downhill? Possibly. Oh, front wheel drive understeer, and we're into a wall a little bit. Didn't lose a ton of speed. That's not gonna hurt us that bad, but could it? Could it? Put it over 10 minutes. I guess we'll see. I wasn't on the gas at all. I was trying to drive out of it and just trying to turn. And she said no. Really got to slow down for there because we flirted with that wall a couple times. I am starting to worry about it. The more I think about that, when we get to some of those high-speed downhill turns, is it going to turn as well as we hope it will? Or probably not. I still think we're on a pretty good pace, though. The only place that it might get hurt is in the competition with the Toyota Aqua, which we will also be driving tonight. I want to say that the Aqua has a good chunk more power, but no turbo. So we'll see if that balances out. I want to say they weigh the exact same. Its speed down the straight is, of course, not great. But is it good enough to beat a Citroen from the 1970s? I honestly don't know if it is. And I mean, the Citroen really surprised us in the section that we're worried mostly here about the Demio high-speed downhill. The Citroen made up a lot of its time because the Citroen was on pace for a lap that would have placed it 4th or 5th. I don't have a lot of worries coming to the carousel, but you never know. It could just plow right through it. It tried. Later into next year we get, the more scary the carousel gets. This is true. And when we get to cars like the Super Formula and maybe even some of the prototypes, I don't think we're going to take the inside of the carousel at all. The prototypes, maybe. Well, moment of truth for the Mazda. Yeah, we're out a little bit wider than I would have liked to be there. But overall, not terrible. Hopefully. Come on, slow it down. We're fine. We've been out there before. I mean, it's certainly not great, but it could be worse. It's not the worst car we've driven so far. We're at 7 minutes, 20 seconds as of right now. I don't know what that was, and I don't know if I want to know. Oh, God. I'll read that in a moment. Let's go, Mazda. Yeah, well, so I remember when it comes to Super Formula, and yes, that is me blatantly admitting that I am ignoring whatever Ash put there. I actually, if you remember Gran Turismo Sport, it had Mercedes F1 car in there. And I don't know if you ever tried to take that thing through the carousel, but it was frightening. Okay, yeah, that's not great. But we lived. I'm actually a little bit worried that we might not be able to go through this corner flat out. Nah, we're good. It tried. It tried to push on us. Didn't quite get there. Well, we've got over a minute to get to the line, so I'm thinking we're in pretty good shape here with the Mazda. Interior-wise, it's what you'd expect. I think pretty much all the Mazdas from this generation kind of look the same. Well, we'll definitely be sub 10 minutes. But will it be better than a 958.2 to knock off the Citroen? Horn check, yep, we almost forgot. First off, blinkers. I don't know if you can really tell, but they are there. They're not very good, but they're there. You know, that's a better horn than I was expecting. Well, no clue how long it's gonna stand. But our new best time belongs to the Mazda Demio with a 9:52.8. So, good little bit better than the Citroen, but it is also a whole bunch of years newer.